Today on Real Rescues, a cyclist collides with a milk float, a low-speed accident with high-speed injuries.
The guy in the milk van tried to stop as quickly as possible, but he had no chance because that guy just went straight to the side of him.
And Laura has a very narrow escape when her horse suddenly falls upside down into a ditch.
If he'd have gone over more quickly, I could have been underneath him. I could have been crushed.
Hello and welcome to Real Rescues, following the work of all our emergency services. Here at Charlie 1, the main police control room in Hampshire, 999 calls are coming in all the time.
Coming up later, at just 13 years old, accident-prone Harvey has broken 3 bones already and counting.
He has fallen down on his left shoulder. Pain score was 10 out of 10.
So what we're going to do is we're going to try and have a word and find out what's going on at the moment. We're going to go to Laura, who I think is in charge this morning over this way. Here she is, who's going to have a chat with us and explain what's going down at the moment. Or
So
is
we've
she?
got a couple of incidents going on at the
No, in
moment.
actual fact, she's on the call, so we'll leave that. We'll come back to her in a little while. Let's push on. First, on Real Rescues, you don't have to be moving at high speed to have a serious accident. Take this collision between a milk float and a push bike. It's rush hour on a sunny morning, and Tony has just received an unusual call-out.
We've been deployed to a milk float versus pedal cycle accident near a recycling centre in Havant. The road we're going to is the access road to a busy industrial estate, so I'm expecting this time on a Monday morning to be quite heavy with traffic. There could be a chance we need to close it and find diversion routes for the people trying to get to work.
Just for your information, just requesting you
Tony's there within minutes. An ambulance is already at the scene. The cyclist is bleeding profusely from the head. He's been given pain relief, and the ambulance crew are preparing to put on a collar to protect his neck. The driver of the milk float is unhurt but shaken by what's happened. Sitting nearby is Emma. She was riding along the same cycle path and is very distressed after witnessing the accident.
Okay, and what happened?
He overtook me fairly quick and he didn't slow down there at all. The guy in the milk van tried to stop as quickly as possible, but he had no chance because that guy just went straight to the side of him. He didn't brake at all.
He's just gone straight across the junction without slowing or looking?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get some details from you. Are you happy to cycle off? Are you all right? Or do you want someone to come and pick you up? Obviously you're very shaken.
I've just seen my auntie go past actually. I'll give her a ring in a minute.
Okay.
Although the injured cyclist Roger Foreman is conscious and talking, it's the extent of the blood and how quickly it happened that's really upset Emma.
He was overtaking me before the milk float appeared, and I thought he's going to have to slow down at some point. And then the milk float appeared and he just went straight into the side of it. The first thing I heard was a horrible thudding sound. It was quite horrific to hear. It was just this dull impact noise, and then as he went down he hit the pavement again, and I heard another almost cracking noise, and then he just lay still for what seemed like an eternity. And all of a sudden a pool of blood appeared around his head, just as I was about to dial 999, which stopped me in my tracks because I wasn't expecting to see that much blood appear in such a short amount of time. I just remember seeing him there motionless, and I just thought there's no way that he's going to be getting up from that. And then especially when the blood arrived and it appeared and it looked as though it was coming from his head, it was just horrific. I really thought that he wasn't getting back up. It was quite a scary moment.
The paramedics fear that cyclist Roger has suffered serious shoulder as well as head injuries. They're also concerned that he might have been knocked out.
Nice and relaxed, Roger. Just watch the oxygen. Hang on. Sorry. Just pull the oxygen a bit closer.
Okay.
Okay.
On go. Yeah. Ready, steady, go.
The priority is getting Roger to the hospital. Now he's been stabilised on the stretcher, he can be carried into the ambulance.
You you got a badge for his property, or I'll just pop it
No,
on there?
yeah, pop it in there. We've got his watch as well.
As Tony helps out gathering up the injured man's belongings,
You able to take this bag with you with all these bits in?
Davoth briefs him on the injuries.
Yeah, we're looking at well, broken collarbone.
Right.
Because that's when he hit the floor. Don't know the extent of his head injuries, but he's certainly got very large lacerations around his ear and his head.
Okay.
It doesn't look life-threatening at the moment.
Right.
You never can tell. So we're doing this purely as precaution, like we always do.
But the main thing is, at the moment, it's not life-threatening. In your opinion?
In my opinion.
That's all I need to go on. That's all I can go on.
But he's 62 and anything can happen.
Okay. Brilliant.
The driver, Terry Barney, is concerned that Roger may well have sustained serious injuries.
His head thudded against the side of the float that really, I mean, you actually hear it. You don't realise, what how hard an impact he went on it. So, and then all of a sudden he was sprawled out on the floor, and blood everywhere, and it was just very traumatic. It could have killed him. I mean, it was that. To me, if my honest opinion, I thought I had it done, because it was actually that sort of traumatic experience.
Tony has to investigate every detail of the accident for his report.
What he's done is come, and I think he's tried to swerve round it.
Okay.
And the bike's hit there, not the bike flying, but as he's gone off the bike, his head did really hit there as well.
Brilliant. Thank you. On the pavement there, we've got give way signs for the cycles. Unfortunately, he hasn't. He's continued straight across the junction, hasn't slowed down, hasn't looked. And the milk float has tried to avoid him, tried to stop, he couldn't, and has hit the cyclist. So at the moment, it's looking like the cyclist is at fault.
Tony can now allow Terry, the driver, to leave.
Yeah, I'm more than happy for you to go. Obviously the company sort out whether you're driving or whether they're getting someone else to drive it, and for that, I'm happy for the milk float now to be moved.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Okay? And I'll give you a call later, let you know what's happening, how he is.
A patient with head injuries can deteriorate at any time. Roger will be closely monitored on the journey to hospital. In incidents like this, where events happen quickly and emotions run high, the police are grateful for any help that allows them to piece together what happened.
It's not very often we get there and we've got a witness, but I've got there an independent witness who's seen it happen and can say who's at fault and who's to blame. It just makes my job a lot easier investigating it.
Now, it looked like there was an awful lot of blood on the road. Angela, sometimes with blood it can look a lot worse than it actually is, can't it?
Yes, it can, yes.
How much can we lose safely?
For an adult, 750 mils up to 1,000 mils, which is the equivalent of this without before seeing signs and symptoms.
OK, so we're going to do a bit of an experiment. What I've got here is a coffee cup with ink in it, and I'm going to spill it on the floor so we can get an idea of what it might look like. Good luck, everybody. Oh, my goodness. So that is a very small amount, actually, and I would be extremely worried if I saw that.
That's about 50 mils, and for an adult, that's really not a problem for us to lose.
So it's about this much in here?
Very.
Amazing. How would you know if it was serious and somebody had, were giving signs of serious blood loss?
Signs of serious blood loss, you'd be looking at the patient's skin. Was it cold, clammy, sweaty, very pale? Occasionally cyanose, that's a blue tinge around the mouth. Weak, thready pulse.
And you've also got a fingertip test that you can do as well.
That's
what do you do?
With a peripheral system, if you press down for 5 seconds and then release, the colour of the nail bed should fill up the nail within 2 seconds. If it's prolonged, then obviously it's quite serious.
It's serious. Now, with a child, it's quite different, isn't it?
It is, yeah. The blood to kilo volume is about 80 mils, and for a child, that would be a lot of blood. So if you saw that with a child, then you would be needing to get help straight away. OK, and very simply, if somebody has injured themselves, there is a lot of blood, what should you do before you get there? Ideally, if you can, find a clean towel, nothing like cotton wool. Press directly on the site of the bleeding, elevate above the heart if you can. If you think the patient's going to faint, sit them on the floor before you cause any further problems, and obviously wait for the ambulance to arrive. Keep them warm with a blanket if you can.
And if you cut your head, for example, there is sometimes quite a lot of blood, isn't there?
Yeah, the head's quite vascular because your oxygen, your brain needs a lot of oxygen, so obviously...
So you shouldn't be so worried, perhaps, if you see a lot of blood.
No.
OK, thank you very much. I'm glad we did that, because that was really interesting to see it. And we're going to find out what happens to Roger in hospital later on in the programme. Nick?
Thank you very much. Very fascinating, that, wasn't it? I had a few head injuries playing rugby, and they do bleed a lot. Pressure's the thing, I'm told, as you just heard then. Right, in our next rescue, it's not just the place, but the nature of the injuries that means a helicopter is the only way to get the victim to hospital.
It's the first call of the day at Lyon Solent. The Coast Guard rescue helicopter, India Juliet, is on an emergency call to a paraglider who's fallen out of the sky.
Spinal injury, paraglider somewhere near Buxton.
India Juliet is usually scrambled for rescues at sea, but this time they're heading just inland. They've been briefed that the paraglider's injuries are so severe, transferring the man by ambulance to hospital would take too long. The pilot has been told it's happened near some masts.
There's the mast there, look. Straight over the top of those 2 masts on the hill.
There, it looks like he's just here. Yeah. There he is.
2 emergency doctors are on the scene. They fear the injured man has broken his back.
Go to the centre of this field here, which looks clear, and we'll do a hover check there.
We could land just to the west of these masts. You know, Don could walk down to them.
Winchman Don Souden will make first contact with the doctors and assess the situation.
Okay.
They're right.
That's right.
Right hand wheels on now.
You want me to jump out, dear?
Yeah. Don's going to leap out now. Don is clear and he's moving out to the 2 o'clock.
After dropping Don off, India Juliet takes off again to find a landing site. Meanwhile, Dr. Steve Smallwood briefs Don on the man's injuries.
He's got back pain. He's also got bruising, particularly on the left side, chest and abdomen. Then he's got chest wall pain.
Moving this patient is going to be very difficult. They have to decide if they can carry him safely to the helicopter once it's landed.
I think we've got enough people here, Simon, to actually get him in our stretcher and carry him across to the landing side of it.
Whatever you decide.
I'll decide when I've seen the barbed wire fence again.
The casualty's condition means every minute which passes will have an impact on his recovery. India Juliet has found a landing site. It's a 5-minute walk from where the accident happened, but they're beginning to think it might be a better idea to winch him on board. With a suspected broken back, the emergency teams can't risk him being knocked in any way.
Might be an idea, actually, if we do winch him.
If we can winch...
You prefer that, dear?
I think it would be better than trying to struggle up there with the injuries.
OK, that's fine then.
And we'll lower on 3. 1, 2, 3.
When it comes over, you obviously feel all the downwash. Just best to keep your eyes closed because of all the grass and stuff that's blowing around. And the same for you 2 guys, really. It'll probably get quite horrendous for a little while. In the hover, 70%. T's and P's all in the green, no warnings. If 2 people stay behind, just to hold the head and the foot of the stretcher whilst it comes in, just to guide it off the ground.
Who's Don then? Oh, there they are.
Divide your eyes.
Forward to ride 1 and steady. Contact, has a helping hand. And clear the deck. Your height is good. Still reaching in. Nice for the cable. Tiny bit of spin at the moment, just sorting that out. Height is still good. Level, almost level with the doorway. Still reaching in. Almost inboard. Okay, Don's got the switch height. And bring it inboard slowly, your height is good.
Going to the left a bit, give us a bit more space to play with.
Okay, speed's building.
It'll take India Juliet 10 minutes to get the injured man to hospital.
And we'll see how the paraglider gets on a little bit later in the programme. Now, sportsman Harvey is only 13. Actually, do you know what? I've just seen that she's just come off. Laura's just come off the phone, and we can go back. I did promise to say hello to Laura at the beginning of the show. She's got a particularly good story for us. So.
Yeah, we've actually got a bit of a result. We've had a phone call from a company that looks after fruit machines,
right,
saying we've had a couple of males that used to work for us that are going around to pubs saying they still do, emptying fruit machines and obviously stealing the money. They've had a call from a pub to say these people are there at the moment. We've sent officers round and actually managed to catch them in the act. So yeah, we've got one detained who's helping us with our inquiries at the moment.
Not the brightest crime in the world, is it? Because sooner or later someone's going to go, what do you mean you come to collect? The other bloke's already come in.
You'd think so, yeah.
Amazing, isn't it? Oh, do you know, once we had a burglary some years ago where the burglar actually left his driving licence at the scene.
I can believe that, yeah. We've had people leave phones behind before as well.
Burglars leaving mobile phones?
Yeah.
So you just ring them and find out who owns it?
Yeah, just whose phone is this?
Unbelievable, isn't it? There you go. Oh, it's an interesting one, though, and a result that quickly this morning. Where were we? I'll tell you what, Louise, can you pick it up?
Yes, thanks, Nick. Sportsman Harvey is only 13, but he's already broken his collarbone, his arm and his wrist. And now he's in the wars again.
Ambulance crew Claire McGonigal and Stacey Smith are heading out to a secondary school. A young footballer has taken a nasty tackle that's put him right out of the game. "13-year-old Harvey is suffering. He's already been given gas to ease the pain by Paul Webb, the paramedic who was first to arrive.
He has fallen down on his left shoulder.
Okay.
He's had a previous fractured collarbone, and he knew exactly when he'd done it what's happened. Going across the collarbone, about 3/4 of the way across, obvious lump,
Right.
pain on palpation, and also on movement of the arm. Pain score was 10 out of 10 on arrival. After a few good slugs on the Internox, it's brought it down to 4 out of 10.
Okay.
And he's settled down quite a lot to what he was when I first got here.
All the signs are that Harvey's broken his collarbone again.
How are you feeling now? Still hurts. Still hurts.
It was 10 out of 10.
What number would you give it now then?
So that's when I breathe in more, mostly. About 6.
About a 6. Okay.
Harvey's mum arrived at the school soon after the accident happened. His condition has improved already.
I was quite shocked to find him in the state he was. The fact that the ambulance had been called, I thought, my goodness, this is actually quite serious. When I arrived, he was very sweaty, hot and completely green colour, which really scared me on arrival because I just wasn't expecting to see him in so much pain.
Harvey will need to go to hospital. Stacey tries to take his mind off the pain.
How did you do it last time? Same way?
No, very hot.
Have you had other broken bones as well then?
Arm and wrist.
Really? And how old are you? 13? I'm a lot older than you and I've not broken anything.
Lucky.
This is clearly an extremely painful break, but Harvey is doing his best to manage it.
Do you want something under your elbow or is it all right like that?
It's all right like that.
Because it's a bit of a bumpy ride.
No, it is.
Can I have that blue blanket and I'll wedge it in just a bit?
Pain relief from the gas and air wears off very quickly, so Harvey needs to use it all the time.
Is it more painful now? I've got some stronger pain relief I can give you, which is morphine. Has he ever had anything like that before?
No, he hasn't.
What it involves there is popping a little needle, popping a cannula into his arm. You can't administer it any other way.
It's not that bad.
Are you sure?
Harvey's none too keen on the needle, so it's back to the gas and air.
Nice and slowly, but keep it going.
Just try and breathe as if you were breathing normally with it. You can think about it, all right? And if you change your mind on the way, that's fine. We can always stop and do it on the way.
Meanwhile, Stacey does her best to make him comfortable.
Lean forward just slightly. Almost behind your shoulders. How's that?
Thank you.
Harvey is doing his best not to complain. He has a reputation for bravery to maintain.
He hurt his arm, fell off riding home on his bike from school. He said, I think I broke my arm, Mum. And said, brought him up to training, and sure enough, he'd broke his arm. But he'd ridden home with his broken arm.
What are you like? Oh, you're a hero, aren't you?
You just feel on top of the world with it. Just the gas and air is just so funny. You just think you're in a different world and it doesn't pain, but then it wears off and then you have to take some more. And you just feel that pain and then you just think, oh, I've got to take some more. It's quite addictive.
Oh dear.
This teenager is very accident prone.
He'll trip over a hair on a carpet, and also if there's an accident waiting to happen, Harvey will find it, definitely.
What are you going to do next then?
Better not do anything else, I'm going to help you.
Harvey just wants to know what's in store for him.
If we take you into the children's A&E, they'll probably have a bit of a prod around, give you some more pain relief, something that's probably a bit better than this. An X-ray, I should think, and then go from there. I'm not entirely sure what they do for collarbones. Probably another sling, make you a bit more comfortable, and get you to rest it and be careful.
Looks like there'll be no more football for quite a while. This control room is all made possible by new technology, computer technology, and the ability to actually reach officers in the field very quickly. I'm going to talk to Laura again, who was chatting to us earlier, about a bit of equipment that all of the policemen carry. Thank you very much. Which is one of these. You'll see these attached onto. It's like a sort of a radio, but sort of glorified radio, isn't it? As almost like a mobile phone cum radio.
It is, yeah. It's a mobile phone and a radio all in one.
Smashing. So now this can actually be used not only to send information but pictures too. In what sort of circumstance? Say you had a burglary happened at a shop or something.
Yeah, I mean we get instances where we get offenders caught on CCTV, and if we can get those downloaded and sent to us, then we can obviously make them available for all officers to see on their handsets so they can see who they're looking for.
So you get a, say for example, you get a burglary in a shop, someone goes in, you know that that's happened, CCTV picture to you, and then you can send it to how many people?
We can send it to every officer in Hampshire.
Really?
Yeah.
Straight away?
Straight away, yeah. We can send it to individuals or we can send it to an OCU, basically everyone in Hampshire.
All right, well, look, I'll tell you what, Louise has got one of these outside, and if you've got a face that you can send, have you got anyone that you could send through?
We have got a particularly dodgy-looking male that has been hanging around in suspicious circumstances that needs to go out to all officers to have a look for at the moment, so
Smashing.
I could just send that.
Send that through. Let me know when you've done that, and I can ask you another question.
Okay, yeah.
So presumably also handy for young children that go missing or elderly people or anyone that goes missing?
Absolutely, yeah. We had an instance in Southampton area where an elderly lady with Alzheimer's went missing. We got the image circulated to all of the officers on their radios, and they were actually showing it to bus drivers because she got around by the bus. She was recognised by a bus driver who said, I dropped her off 2 hours ago at this location, so we could concentrate our search on that location, and we managed to find her safe and well.
Perfect. So there you go. You can see how this piece of equipment works. Have you got that through, Louise?
Yeah, I've got it. And you know what, Laurie, you're quite right. He really does look dodgy. Have a look at this. I can't see a name, but I do recognise him. Look, I've seen him about. He keeps stealing my lines.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You worked that out with her beforehand, hadn't you? Thanks very much. Yes, so, and that's gone out to every officer in Hampshire. That means I'm going to have a really dodgy time getting home this evening, aren't I? Thank you very much. Fascinating piece of kit, though.
No problem.
Still to come on Real Rescues, a horse that's gone head down and legs up.
The ditch was very, very deep. It was immediate that he was completely wedged.
And despite being involved in a head-on collision, driver Laura's got other things on her mind.
Oh, my feet probably smell.
Okay, mate, thanks.
Don't worry about that.
Earlier, we saw cyclist Roger, whose head hit the side of a milk float. He's now in hospital, and Sergeant Flatman's about to find out how seriously he's been hurt.
Sergeant Flatman is being brought up to date by consultant nurse Chris Walker. Roger is now showing symptoms of head trauma.
But his conscious level is a little decreased, a little confused, and he's quite repetitive.
Right.
So we think he's probably got some both pre-traumatic and post-traumatic amnesia. Can't really remember being on his bike today at all. He's got a fracture of his right clavicle collarbone. He's also got a large wound to his left forehead, and also he's got a wound to his right ear. Really had very marked memory loss. He could just about remember having breakfast that morning, but he had no recollection of any of the events on his cycle to work, and he certainly couldn't recollect the accident at all. So the worst case scenario with any patient with a head injury is that the brain within the skull is going to be affected. If he was to have a bleed within the skull, then I think we've potentially got that, and it's just too difficult to say at this stage.
But at the moment,
he's stable.
Okay, brilliant.
He's stable.
Thank you.
But, that's all we can really say.
Can I just copy his details down off your note?
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Roger will need multiple X-rays of his body and CT scan of his brain to check for internal bleeding and any possible fractures. Doctors and nurses will keep him under close observation throughout the night. It's the day after the accident and Sergeant Tony Flatman is heading back to the hospital.
Just after the QA check-up on how Roger the cyclist is doing. It's something we normally do. We normally do it on a phone call, but because Roger was quite seriously injured, I just want to go up and make sure, speak to the doctor in charge of him, make sure he's going to be okay. See if that needs to change, how we're going to investigate it at all.
Roger has confirmed fractures to his collarbone, cheekbone and skull. He's also suffered a small bleed in the brain. Despite all this, Roger will be okay, but his memory of the accident hasn't improved.
So, you don't remember the accident at all then, from yesterday?
No, I don't remember where it was.
Right, it was Harts Farm Way.
Oh, yeah.
Just past the tip.
Oh, he must have been coming out of one of those.
He was coming out of...
Normally look down those roads as well.
So you can't remember anything about it?
I don't even remember going up... I remember going up Eastern Road, crossing over by Anchorage Park there.
Right.
And that's the last I actually remember.
Okay.
When I'd had a fairly late night the last 2 nights, I might not be quite...
Paying as much attention as normal.
Paying as much attention as I should have been.
Sure.
I didn't really feel that it had happened to me straight away anyway. It was more, that's weird and interesting, explains why I'm here. And it just seems, yes, it happened to somebody else, almost.
Tony has filled in the blanks for Roger on what's happened.
Because I've got an independent witness who says that you've gone straight across without slowing down or looking, I can't really then,
ignore it.
No. So I won't be taking any action against the milk float driver. Yeah, I'm going to caution you for bad cycling, sir.
Yeah,
no.
It's totally fair.
The other thing I need to just mention is helmet, cycle helmet.
Yeah, I'm not bothered with it. I don't like things on my head. I've never ever liked hats and things. And also, normally, I'm on those back roads or something like that. I don't ride on back roads.
I strongly suspect that if he had been wearing a helmet, he wouldn't have picked up quite so many significant injuries as he did, particularly those involving his head and his face.
OK, cheerio.
A month on and Roger's recovered enough to get back to work. He just wants to get there quicker.
I'm very keen to get back onto a bike. I find walking takes ages to get.
One of the things that's striking about being here in the call centre is because of the teamwork on these desks, they can get police to incidents really carefully. Am I interrupting you, Jan?
That's fine.
You had an amazing thing which happened. A lady down there took a call from somebody who was actually fallen out of a window. What was going on?
What had happened was the female was cleaning her windows at home with her 4-year-old child with her, and she'd somehow got herself out onto the window ledge and was at the first floor up, holding on with her fingertips.
Which is a very perilous situation for her because there was concrete below, and also she had a child with her too.
She passed the phone to her daughter who actually kept the phone call going, so the call came to me as a grade 1, so it's immediate deployment. The officers were close by at the station, raced around there. The back door, lucky enough, was open, so they ran in through the back door, up the stairs, and managed to actually pull her back in from the window.
And you were really worried, weren't you, as well, about her little daughter, because if she'd fallen, you didn't know what she would have done.
To the window, perhaps, it could have been a different story, but lucky enough for a 4-year-old, she kept her cool and kept us updated on the phone, which was really good. A happy ending.
That's amazing. And how quickly between that phone call and the police getting there?
About 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
So that was very good.
Very lucky, because she was there with her fingertips.
Yeah, she was.
Thank you very much, Anne.
OK.
Something of a fingertip rescue there then, obviously. OK, Laura is an experienced horse rider, but recently she and her horse were involved in a bizarre accident that could have easily killed her. Just take a look at this. There's Laura's horse Morris, completely stuck upside down in a narrow ditch. There's now filling with water. More on that in just a moment. But first, let's actually meet... Oh, I'm getting old. I'm going to be creaking as I sat down. Laura, how did he get in that position?
I was out for a ride and went to open a gate, and the horse did exactly what he should have done. He took a step back to allow for the movement of the gate. I hadn't realised that there was a ditch behind me because it had so much foliage in it. And unfortunately, one leg went down. As the second leg went down, I actually thought he was getting down to have a roll. My feet hit the ground, and I was very lucky I managed to step off, at which point he disappeared past me and into the ditch.
Because we said it, you know, very dangerous at the beginning out, and the reason is if you'd have been under the horse when he'd had a roll, you'd have been under the horse in the ditch.
Yeah, yeah. If my feet hadn't have touched the floor and I hadn't been able to step off, the situation would have been very serious. He weighs a ton, and there was also water in the bottom of the ditch, so I probably would have been crushed.
Crushed or drowned. So that's how close to a really serious accident Laura became. So let's watch what happens next. Morris was thrashing around too much for fire crews to safely attach any equipment to pull him out, so they needed the vet to come and tranquilise him first. When vet Philippa Hayes arrived, she was confronted with this unlikely sight. A ton of horse upside down on its back, its head lying furthest from the camera.
Because Morris was stuck on his back, it was actually quite easy to access his jugular vein to give him the anaesthetic drugs, and that would have been a lot more difficult had he been struggling on his side or face down in the water. Morris was wedged in a way I've never seen one before, with all four legs stuck up in the air. A few things crossed my mind when I saw him stuck in that position, that he could have injured his back legs or sustained any sort of spinal injury, either struggling to get out or when he initially fell into the ditch. So it was very hard to tell from the position he was in whether he had already sustained any injuries.
The fire crew, led by station manager Nick Headley, couldn't afford to waste any time in getting Morris out.
Morris fitted the ditch so well he completely blocked it, so the water was building up in his head. If he'd been in there much longer, we would have had to have put pumps in to sort of take the water away to stop Morris drowning.
Normally, the fire crew would attempt to put a harness around a horse's body to move it, but here they couldn't get underneath Morris to do this. Fortunately, an alternative solution was staring them in the face.
As Morris was upside down in the ditch, there's sort of four nice handles, you know, so his legs and his feet were sort of sticking up in the air and nice and easy to attach the hobbles to.
Although it looks like it puts an awful lot of pressure on the limbs, it's a very safe way to lift a horse, and it's actually the same way that we would lift a horse onto an operating table if they were having surgery.
As they move Morris, the firemen carefully pull on a rope to prevent his head and neck from dangling and dragging on the floor.
It is all nice and gentle. When we're lifting them out, try not to put any more strain on their bodies as they've already got on them. And so the high-ab driver is well trained, and they do it nice and gently. The only danger for our team, if Morris decided to wake up halfway through the lift, which probably would have surprised him slightly to find himself in mid-air.
Oh, poor old Morris. He looks like he's dead there.
Yeah, he was just obviously very, very heavily sedated, but got away fairly uninjured.
I didn't know you could pick a horse up like that. Well, you don't get to pick a horse up like that very often, I suppose, do you?
I didn't know you could pick a horse up like that, and I didn't realise that the fire brigade would be able to do it so gently and elegantly.
You'd expect to be much more aggressive dragging him out of the ditch, but it was quite sort of, I don't know what the word is, really.
Well, it was almost like watching a ballet, the fact that it was just so gentle. You know, he's such a big animal and he's so heavy. But as I say, they just made it all look very, very gentle, and they did it so slowly that they just sort of eased him out.
Before he was tranquilised, he was very uncomfortable, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did. He thrashed around.
But that was not just because of being upside down, because you think it was to do with water in the ears?
Yeah, there was actually quite a lot of water in the ditch, and obviously horses' ears aren't designed to keep water out, because even if they were to go into the sea or something, their ears are on the top of their head, so the water did go into his ears, into his eyes and into his nose, and that did distress him quite a lot.
Was he affected at all physically by the whole ordeal?
No, we were really lucky. I mean, that's why it was such a good luck story. I mean, it could have been so much worse. He could have sustained several injuries. The bit that he'd stepped down was concrete, so when his back legs were against it and he was trying to turn himself over, he got cuts.
He was a bit groggy, wasn't he, when he actually came around? We got some footage of him, you walking him back towards, look. Oh, he looks drunk.
Yeah, he was. It was like trying to lead half a ton of drunk horse meat. He was very, very unsteady on his feet. Very, very groggy.
He looks like most of our cameramen after a night out in Southampton, to be honest. They look staggering all over the place. Was he singing at all? Was he neighing and singing? A bit of a headache, but now he's all well and good.
He's all well and good, yes.
And I'm very pleased to see that you hopped off just in time. It's amazing. A split second like that can mean the difference.
Could have made all the difference.
We'll be chatting to you now. All right, lovely. Thank you very much, Louise.
Now, Sarah here takes lots of calls about animals because she works mostly on the New Forest. Can I just stop you for a second? Not busy, are you?
No, you're fine.
You had one from a man who was having a problem with his boa constrictor, who was actually constricting him. What was going on?
Yes, I took a 999 call from him, and he asked for our assistance. He said that she's quite friendly, but she's just a bit excited. He used to take the boa out of her cage and hold her, and yeah, she obviously just got a bit excited, and he needed a couple of pairs of hands to help release him.
At least he had a hand to call, though, I guess. How does one remove a boa constrictor?
I've no idea. Gently, quietly, I would have thought, and as firmly as possible. But I think the officers just kind of moved her slightly, so he was able just to slip out. So
quite an extraordinary story. But as far as you know, everybody was safe after that.
Oh yes, yeah, he's fine. Although we haven't heard from him for a while, so
okay.
Who knows?
We presume all is well.
Yes.
Sarah, thank you.
Thanks.
Nick.
After a 12-hour night shift, care worker Laura was on her way home to get some well-earned rest, but things didn't quite work out like that.
Fire crew Greenwatch have a call to a head-on crash on one of Southampton's busiest roads over the Itchen toll bridge. Heading to the same accident from the other side of the city are paramedic Claire McGonigal and ambulance technician Stacey Smith. Claire's been briefed by control.
It's a head-on and there's smoke issuing from one of the vehicles. Hopefully, before our arrival, there'll be an RRV and another ambulance there.
The fire crew arrived to find 2 badly smashed up cars and 2 injured people, one lying on the ground. Fuel is leaking onto the road, so the crew disconnect the batteries before hosing the area down. Of the 2 people involved, one driver has escaped with injuries to her ankle, so for the time being, emergency doctor Rob Dawes is concentrating his efforts on the most badly hurt, 22-year-old Laura Brock. She's managed to get out of her car, but then started complaining of back pain. She might have hurt her spine. Firefighter Tim O'Donnell keeps Laura's head as still as possible while another ambulance arrives to look after the other driver, Tony Butler. Laura's in a great deal of pain, but she is able to tell Rob where it hurts most. Rob is doing his best to relieve her pain. He puts a cannula, like a little tap, into the back of her hand so they can give her a drip.
I know, that's why we're going to give you some painkillers just in a minute.
Rob asked Stacey and Claire for an inflatable splint on Laura's leg, as it might be broken.
Oh, my feet probably smell.
Okay, mate, thanks. Don't worry about that. What we're going to do is just lift your right leg for a second and pop a splint underneath it.
That's a good idea.
All right, and fix it in one position. So hopefully it'll take your pain away a bit.
Once the splint is in place, Stacey can blow it up with what looks suspiciously like a bicycle pump.
It gives support to the leg. She's complaining of a lot of pain in that leg. So if there is a break, it will give the support. As we pump it, it goes with you.
The other driver, Tony Butler, has hurt her ankle quite badly, but is still able to sit up while the other paramedics look after her. Meanwhile, for Laura, fatigue is beginning to set in.
I'm very tired.
Well, I'm not surprised you've been up all night, haven't you?
7 obelisk road.
Okay.
In fact, the accident happened when Laura had almost reached home after a 30-mile drive. She'd just completed a 12-hour night shift at work. The team gently slide a scoop stretcher underneath her so they can move her into the ambulance.
And roll.
It's all right, we've got you.
Okay, again.
And down.
Excellent, that's brilliant.
There we go.
Okay, that's fine.
It's all right.
Laura's worried about what's going to happen.
You're going to be absolutely fine. How's the pain now? What pain? That's the right answer.
Dr. Rob does a quick check on Tony. She too has been given a splint to protect her leg, and she needs to be x-rayed in hospital.
Matt, one of the other ambulance guys is going to bring some stuff and he's going to take us up to something, all right? But Chris has looked here, I'm absolutely confident in his abilities.
Meanwhile, Laura's becoming more responsive.
Me? Claire?
Gentlemen, lovely people put it in for us.
Right. We're going down the hill to the ambulance now, OK, Laura? We won't.
On board the ambulance, Laura starts to worry about the other driver.
Right, we'll get you up to the hospital now.
No.
Yeah. Everyone else is fine?
No one died?
No.
Honestly?
No, I promise. Did you see what... Do you remember what happened?
No, I'm overcome.
Once at hospital, Stacey and Claire hand Laura over to the emergency team. In A&E, they were quick to investigate Laura's injuries.
When I got to hospital, I underwent a number of x-rays for my right leg, my chest, my neck and my back. Nothing was broken. They said that I had tissue damage to my ankle and tissue damage to my nose and a lot of bruising, and they kept me in overnight.
Laura's injuries kept her off work for 4 weeks. All she can really remember about the accident were Claire's calming words.
She was very reassuring and she just had a friendly face, and it's nice having someone there.
Let's get an update on the paraglider rescued by the Coast Guard helicopter. He was in hospital for 14 weeks and he knows he is lucky to be alive.
All of a sudden, the whole wing just went off. The whole thing just went completely. And I remember seeing myself coming towards the ground thinking, this is going to hurt. They knew at that stage that I'd had some quite bad breaks in my right femur, quite a few ribs, and my back. I remember how precarious it felt, just dangling under it, thinking, wow, there's all that sound and wind and noise and all that metalwork going around up there. It's about as close to death as I want to get.
Let's have one final update and look at what's going on here in the control room with Laura, who is definitely not on a call at the moment. Bogus callers at the door.
Yeah, we've had a call from an elderly female who says she's had a male come to her door claiming to work for a gas company, not the gas company she uses,
right.
Asking to come inside, see her credit card details and latest statements for her gas bill. She's obviously said no. Phoned the gas company, who said, we haven't got anyone in the area and we don't work with the company he says he works for. So she's called us and let us know of this suspicious male that's in the area, which could be trying to get into people's houses.
And advice always with people coming to the door, be sure of get some ID, presumably.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you're not happy with the ID, phone the company direct and see if there is people that work for that company in the area.
And you guys are always quite happy to take calls on both people that you think might be bogus.
Absolutely. It's treated very, very seriously if we get what could be bogus callers coming to addresses to maybe gain entry.
All right, lovely. Thank you very much, Laura. Thanks for chatting to us today. I'll let you get back to your work. It's a fascinating day. It's been all round, hasn't it?
Yeah, that was really interesting. I didn't realise that they'd be happy to take calls on that kind of query as well.
Absolutely, because, you know, they were due to about credit card fraud, you're talking about identity fraud, all of those kind of things, so very serious. Did you realise we had 3 Lauras on the show today?
I was getting quite confused with the Lauras. I thought I was getting it wrong. I was right, was I?
Laura, I was chatting to Laura in the end one there, Laura that we've seen all day. We had Lauras.
I also want to tell everybody as well, I did clear up that mess that I made over there.
Found ink all over the place in the police headquarters, so I get into a lot of trouble.
I'm not going to be in trouble. I cleared it up, I promise.
That's it for today.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.